Good morning, Sweet Friend. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maylene Call from Mrs. Call's Campers. This year I am teaching kindergarten and first grade, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss my vlog and everything that's happening this year. It is very early in the morning on the first day of school. Everything is pretty much ready, but I am not. So I'm gonna get busy and do that and check in with you after school. I'll show you the room really quickly. I'm feeling really good about today, so I hope it goes well. I can't wait to tell you all about it after school, but for right now, I need to finish getting ready for the kids. It's after school, 3:44 to be exact. I am so tired. I know I only had like 3 hours of sleep, but first day of school tired, I always forget just how much it is. And I was also saying to one of my coworkers, like, I have never had kindergartners on the first day of school, and it was a lot. Like a lot. So having kindergartners and first graders together in the same class, wasn't necessarily sure how it was going to work out. And even today, the only thing that really helped me was like their size, and I had to double check with a couple of them. I have it on a list somewhere. But for the most part, it was a little bit hard to tell who was a kinder, who was a first grade. Really, it was just like the difference in their confidence that I could tell. But oh gosh, today was a whirlwind. Let me take you from the top. So first few days of school, I always have to have like a printed minute by minute of what we're doing, just as more like a to-do list. So I don't necessarily put like, oh, I'm gonna do this from this time to this time. I also don't even have my schedule made yet because I wasn't sure about like recess times and lunch times yet, which is on me. That's my fault. But we started off this morning, and because it was the first day of kindergarten, parents could walk their child to the door, and that was a lot. And I was trying to like make sure I could talk to especially the kindergartners, talk to them, get them inside, get them comfortable. I had a couple of parents hang out for just a little while and kind of watch and see. But I had my kids playing with stem bins when they first got here, and I had them all on the carpet, just all on the carpet playing with the stem bins. And the reason I did that is because I like to see from the very beginning how kids play together, and I could tell like, okay, these two students really are either uncomfortable like talking to new friends, or they prefer to play by themselves. So it was really helpful to me to see them just playing in one spot together, because you can tell a lot. So then after, honestly, I think getting them in the door took like 25, maybe 30 minutes of our time. And I was trying to say hi to the parents, and it's so hard because you feel bad because you can't remember like what parent has what child, and you feel like you should remember. So the students were doing stem bins, and then one of the first things that I introduced them to was actually my doorbell, which meant clean up. And for me, I hate so much when students just throw things and try to clean up as quickly as they can. So that's one of the first things I tell my kids is, should we throw things in here and try to clean up super quick? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, good. So they cleaned up beautifully. They loved the doorbell. And then I started them off on dojo points, and a couple of them know what Class Dojo is because they used it last year, my first graders. But I didn't even go through like, oh, this is what it's going to be used for, these are your points. I was just giving them points all day, and they were loving it. Literally the first thing I did was talk about bathroom procedures, and we didn't actually go to the bathrooms. I think they knew where they are just because they were here for me, the teacher, but the first graders already knew. And I have, let me show you. I have these lights, so you push it and it says boys and girls. I was going to do a picture, but I just literally threw those up and then labeled them this morning before they got here. It's editing Maylene here and Tesla. I considered deleting this next part, but I decided I wanted to keep it for my own memories. There's like a weird staticky sound from my microphone that I tried to edit out and did not do a perfect job of, so it's a little annoying, but I wanted to keep it for my memories, and it's only for this clip. So that worked out really well. And for a couple of the kindergartners, I had first graders take them to the bathroom, except one of my first graders walked one of my kindergartners to the bathroom and then just left them. I wanted to read this one, a letter from your teacher on the first day of school. Did I read it? No, I did not have time, not at all. I just read The Kissing Hand, classic kindergarten book. And this is a newer book for me, so I still had the heart stickers in the back of this book, so that was helpful. And then later in the day I read Are You Ready to Play Outside before we went on the playground, and my aide read Can I Play Too? So I didn't get to everything I wanted to do, but that's just typical first day stuff. I didn't even introduce our calm corner, which is over here. If you're new to the vlog, go ahead and watch my classroom setup video so you kind of have an idea, or watch last year's vlog so you kind of get it. But I have a calm space over here, and normally I introduce that on the first day, and I do a whole lesson with putting your hand on the worry plaque and it changes colors. Did we get to that today? No, we didn't. Hardly did anything. We did do a lot of call outs. Again, one of the first things that I taught them was like sit, stand. They did a really good job with that. We did my turn, and they say your turn, and then some of them were confused about that. We did hands on top, everybody stop. I was also confused on what time I was supposed to go to morning recess, and I also didn't have a chance to send out any information to parents beforehand, so some of my kids had a snack, some of them didn't. I had to like give like yogurt. My aide had some like random granola bars for the kids who didn't have snacks. And I don't think all my parents are connected on Dojo yet, so it's kind of tricky to communicate. We have to wait till, you know, they get the papers at home. We did recess, we practiced walking in line, and I said this in a previous vlog, but my line leader is at the back of the line because I cannot stand when students are pushing and trying to be at the front of the line and they complain if they're not first in line. So my line leader is at the back of the line, and that worked so well today. And I tell them, where's Miss Call? I'm at the front of the line, and if I'm walking, I can't be looking behind me. Student in the back watches the class, and then when we get to where we're going, I check in with that student and I say, hey, did we earn a dojo point this time, or were people talking, whatever. And then I'll give the class a dojo point if we earn it, and if we don't, I'll still give the line leader a dojo point for watching the class, pay them for their time. And that worked out really, really well, and I feel like my kids, for the most part, did pretty good at walking in line, but half of them were first graders, so that might be why. I tried to stagger them just a little bit. One of my teammates prepped some magic Play-Doh for us to have today. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but she homemade white Play-Doh with food coloring in the middle, and then they're supposed to mix it up, and if it changes colors and they're gonna have a good year, this is magic. I'll show you. She prepped this for us, really did. They were really excited to use our seating. For the most part, for the beginning of the day, we were all on the carpet, and they were like, when are we gonna sit? So it was really fun just because they were excited to learn and excited to be here, and they really wanted to work. And I introduced crayons. Let me get my crayons. So after the Play-Doh, and they were sitting in the area, I had them come back to the carpet, and then I had them pick another spot. So for the beginning, I was just calling them one by name, because I also need to learn their names. Calling them one by one to just pick a spot. We talked about the flexible seating, and for me, I don't really have a lot of flexible seating that the kids can really like abuse right now. We just have stools. We talked about not leaning back on them, talking about picking a smart spot, and that I can always move you. And so I had them pick a different spot than they already sat at and sit next to someone new. And the caddies this morning were empty, because I remember my first year, whenever kids came in and they were full, they had crayons and scissors and glue and pencils, and of course, what do the kids want to do? They want to play with it, touch it. So I left them empty this year, and then once everybody was sitting in a new spot, I showed them the crayons, and I was like, this is how you open it. You need to look for this tab. You need to pull carefully. Don't rip it off, because your crayons can fly everywhere. What happens if we put the lid over here? Oh, we can lose it. Lid goes under our crayons. What happens if I have all my crayons out at once? Oh, we lose them. They get mixed up. Keep the crayons in here. Went through that whole process, and then I put the crayons in the caddy and had them do it, and that worked out really well. They were really excited to color. We only colored one thing today, and that was our hats, because everything was just taking a really long time, but that's okay. I always forget it does. That's okay. So they loved the coloring. It was great. They're great at cleaning up, which is nice. Like, they don't just put things in random spots. Like, they actually put things where they're supposed to go. They loved all these little kitchen things that I was really excited to get. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna get some sleep. I am gonna be here early tomorrow morning because there's things I have to do. I would need to put numbers on their cubbies and just a couple more random things, and I'm hoping tomorrow we can make it more of a schedule, less explaining, if that makes sense. By the time I get to next week, I want to have my schedule set in stone, so I'm gonna do that tonight. But the first day is always crazy. No matter what, I had a really good day, and my kids are really sweet, so I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Morning. Today's, I almost said Tuesday because it's the second day of school. Today's Thursday. Really quickly, I'm gonna put some of my perfume on. I like to associate scents with like times in my life, and I picked this Cloud perfume by Ariana Grande to like have as my scent this year. I didn't do anything last year, but last year was a horrible year, so I don't really want to remember that. My kids were great, and actually I got another picture of a sunflower for one of my kiddos yesterday, because that was the last thing they did with me pretty much, was we planted sunflowers and they took them home, and they've been sending me pictures all summer of the sunflowers, and I just love it, and hearing back from them and seeing their like first day of school pictures, it's just special. So I got here early this morning. Kids will be here in about 75 minutes, and when I was leaving yesterday, I was talking to my aide and I was like, yeah, I stayed up till like 2:30 planning, and she was just like, don't do that to yourself, like it'll be fine, it'll be okay. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I planned on getting here way earlier this morning, and I was like, you know what, I don't need to, I'm not going to. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put numbers on their backpack cubbies, which are over here. And what else am I gonna do? I don't know. Last night I went to bed at like, I laid down at 7, and then I started planning my schedule, and then I went to bed by like 7:45. And I think I figured out a good schedule for this combo class. The only thing is, it is very planned and very specific, I guess is the word. Like, I'm even thinking about how I'm gonna hang our schedule cards at the front of the room, and I don't even know, because what I think is gonna work, and I'll type this all out for you and show you after school. After we do all of our morning things, I'm gonna do a whole group with first grade while my kinders do phonemic awareness, a poem. I'm thinking a poem. And then a morning journal with my aide. And I had said that I didn't want to do morning journals this year, but I realized I don't have to do morning journals in the morning. Like, they can do them at a different time, which technically this is still the morning. And because I have a TV and a projector, which I have not turned on, well, I've turned on the projector, I haven't used the projector yet. I'm thinking while I do my whole group lesson with my first graders, and we could be using the whiteboard if I needed to, but most of the time I'm just using my easel, so I don't need it as much. I could have the morning journal for my kinders up. So yeah, I'm thinking morning time, I'm gonna do whole group with my first graders, and then kinders will be with my aide doing phonemic awareness, a poem, and their journal. So all very basic things. And then after that, I'm gonna switch. Basically, we're just gonna flip-flop. So kinders will be with me, and then my aide will do the phonemic awareness, poem, and journal. And then I'm gonna go into reading groups with my first graders. But because I want that to be the first graders like reading literacy center time, I'm only gonna have, this is a lot. I'm sorry, it's really hard to explain because this is so complicated. I have 11 first graders and 12 kindergartners. So my reading groups, for the most part, are gonna be 2 and 2. So while I am doing reading groups with first graders, the other first grade group will be doing a literacy center. I want the kinders totally separate from that. So I'm actually gonna have kinders doing math centers while first graders are doing literacy centers. And then we'll go to lunch and recess. We'll come back, we'll do calendar, and then we'll do the opposite. So I'll have kinders doing my small group and reading centers, and first graders will be doing math centers. So they'll be doing something totally different, and I think that'll be good. We'll see, I don't know. And then after that, I'll do math with kinders, and I was thinking we could do first graders doing computer math, and then I can swap. So like I said, it's complicated. So that's what I'm thinking. And then on Fridays, instead of that like awkward math block, we can do like the fun Friday things and projects. So yeah, I think it could work. It's just gonna be really go, go, go. But all the combo teachers I've talked to have said that that's how their schedules end up being. It's just like very to the minute. I did not have extra snacks for my kids yesterday, and so for now I just have some extra cereal in the class for kids who forget their snack. And my lunch today is a Lunchable and sugary coffee, because even though I was telling you about how excited I was for our espresso machine, we used the beans, and we literally got them like 3 days ago. But I made so many practice like shots with my espresso machine that I went through like a whole bag, which is fine. But I didn't have any this morning, and I was like, okay, great. Morning, today's Friday. I obviously never came back and finished the vlog from yesterday, but I got really busy, and that's just how it goes. So I'll walk you through really quickly what we did yesterday. Not a whole lot, and I'm realizing now I I think the reason I feel so behind is because whenever I did kindergarten last year, I asked for a staggered start and my principal let me do it. And so having them all in here at the same time, I think on like the first and second day, that's why it felt like a lot to me, because last time that I did this, I did staggered start. So I only had a couple of them in here. So I feel less bad about not getting to everything because it's just different having a lot of students in here at once on the first day, especially the kindergartners who don't know how to do school yet. So I feel less bad about that. It's so funny because my first day plans have turned into like my first 3-day plans because it takes us so long to get through things. That's okay. We read A Letter to Your Teacher, and that was sweet. And originally I was going to read A Letter to Your Teacher and then introduce the About Me bags and talk about how much I wanted to learn about them. But I did not introduce the About Me bags because they were not ready. So they're going to get those to take home today. So you just send home a small bag with the students and they put like 3 things in it. And then all next week for morning meeting, different students will share what is in their About Me bag. Today for morning meeting, we're actually going to do, I think, a yarn activity. We're going to talk about how we're all connected. I shared about this on my classroom ideas video. You can watch it up here. I don't remember exactly what we did after that, but I know a little bit later we read the King of Kindergarten book, which is really sweet. I had them just go and draw their favorite part of the book, and at this point in the year, they're just excited to do anything with paper and with crayons because they're excited for school. So they drew their favorite part. Here's an example. They are adorable. We have a whole different range of drawings, which is great. And then I went and I shared everybody's drawing, but really we're just practicing like the routine of working at your table, of where you turn things in, of going to the carpet. And that has been the hardest thing, is having them go back and sit on the carpet because they still think like, oh, it's playtime all day long. So as soon as some of my kids sit on the carpet, they're like immediately like, let's play rock, paper, scissors, let's do this. Or while I'm reading a book in the middle of it, they'll just turn and start chatting it up just because they're like, oh, I'm here, but she's reading, I'm just gonna play with my friend. So it's really interesting to see the dynamic of this class versus classes in the past, because I haven't had to get onto classes in the past as much. Like they haven't needed more, I guess, structure, but this class really does. So we also did a really fun activity yesterday. We read Soap versus Germs. I'll show you the book. Or no, Germs versus Soap. And this is the book. It looks like this. Dee Dragon actually sent this to me. I know you can get it off of Amazon. And then I paired it with a super cool glow germ activity, which they loved. They thought it was so much fun. This is something I started last year because of COVID. And this is what the bottle looks like. I have it linked on my Amazon. I've barely put a dent in it, but it's simulated germs. So it's like a little lotion. They rub it on their hands and then they can't see anything, because we can't see germs, right? But I have a special magical UV light, and when I shine it on their hands, little specks pop up, and those are the germs. But I really have to tell them these are not real germs, because we can't see real germs because they're so tiny. These are just fake germs, because some students really are not gonna do well with you telling them, I just put germs all over your hand. So don't do that. And then we talked about how we wash our hands at the sink over here, which is really nice that we have it in our classroom. I literally just had them in one big long line, and they were washing their hands, and then after they washed their hands, I shined the light on them again, and of course there was germs here, there were germs here, all over their hands still. So they either washed their hands again or they got hand sanitizer. Some of the kids were like washing their hands 3 times because they were like, did I get it off? Oh, I'm gonna go wash my hands again. I think they would have washed their hands for like an hour, but eventually I was like, oh, go get hand sanitizer. But they loved that activity. Today, we are gonna have to have a conversation about our toys and the way we put our toys back, because yesterday I didn't get a chance to look and make sure they were doing it right, but let me just show you what they look like right now. So yeah, I'm not gonna fix that, but I am gonna talk to them and say like how sad it makes me and how we have to take care of our things. So they'll fix it. That's kind of how I am. I'm not just gonna like fix things for them because this is their classroom. And every time we bring out the toys, the other thing I also say is, are these Miss Call's toys? No, they're our toys. So we all have to take care of them. We all share them. Because last year my kids were constantly saying, this is mine. And I had to remind them, it's all of ours. Today, one of the main activities that we're gonna be doing is Alma and the Worry Stone. It's this book. I actually haven't flipped through the whole thing, but I saw a teacher on Instagram use this book to make worry stones for her classroom. And so of course I went and bought polymer clay, but we're gonna read the book and then we're gonna make a little worry stone where they just take a couple of colors of clay, mix it together, roll it in a ball, press their thumb. I'll show you them after school. Which reminds me, the other thing we did that they loved was I introduced our calm corner right here. And normally this is something that I do on like the very first day. It's a very first day activity, but this year it was really hard. It's just been a lot. So what I did was I had different students go around the room, and it was kind of like our class tour yesterday, honestly. Yeah, pretty much. One of the students was over here and I told them about it. I showed them all the things we have. They really liked how quiet it was when they put on those headphones. So, and I think I have maybe 1 or 2 kids who would benefit from them, so I might need to get another pair. But then when it was time for the worry plaque, I had them all line up. And then when it was their turn, I said, is there anything worrying you today? Are you sad about anything? And if they said no, I said, okay, would you like to practice? And then they would put their hand on it and I would read them the poem, A Fairy's Magic Changes, red to green, gone are your worries, never to be seen. And they really enjoyed it. And then I had a lot of kids who were like, yeah, I'm really worried about my parents. I'm scared my parents are gonna die, or my dad is fighting fires, or I'm worried about my little brother, or I'm worried about my little sister who's also at the school. So they actually had some genuine worries, but I think they all felt better after the worry plaque, which was the whole point. So that was wonderful. So this morning it's 6:44 a.m. right now. So I have like an hour and a half before the kids get here. I think I'm gonna try to print some more labels. I need to, not much. I actually don't have to do much. I have to print some more of those round labels. I am going to make copies of their About Me bags and get those ready to go. I'm going to get the polymer clay ready for them. I'm gonna add some pictures to their Class Dojo portfolios. I don't have all my parents connected on Class Dojo yet, but that's okay because it's only today's the 3rd day of school. And then I don't think I have anything else to do. We'll see. I forgot the other thing we did yesterday was I filled out these About Me pages for them at the bottom. So I'll just cover the name here. I asked them their favorite color, food, hobby, movie, and subject. And then they drew a picture of something they're good at. This little girl was good at playing with her cat. And then they colored the top. I'm gonna take their pictures that I printed and I'm gonna put them and cut them in this little circle. And this will be one of the first things in their memory books. So I'm gonna ask my aide if she will put it onto construction paper and then laminate it after I get their picture printed. I need to do that this weekend. I should probably write it down. But yeah, I've just been slowly introducing routines, procedures. I think I left my Apple Pencil at home, which is so sad. I'll have my life together next week. It is after school on Friday. The first week of school is down. It's in the books. And honestly, it's been a very interesting 24 hours. Very interesting. So when I first got to the school, it spread like wildfire that I was a YouTuber, that I was an Instagrammer, and I get really embarrassed about those things in real life. But everybody who came up was so nice about it. They thought it was so cool. They were so supportive about it. They wanted to connect with me on there, so that was really nice. And then last night at the board meeting, one of the parents was like, yeah, she's a YouTuber. She's big on Instagram. And I wanted to crawl in a hole and die. And then there were a couple of parents who I guess maybe weren't fully sure about how the combo class was gonna work, and I totally get that because I wasn't sure how it was going to work at first either, and I think they were a little bit worried about the combo class, but I think that's all settled now. But it was really cool to meet some more of the board members, and they were interested in everything, and my principal was really nice about everything. And I feel like I've said it so many times, but it's just so nice to be at a school that has my back and that supports me. So I'm really grateful to be here. Today was a super fun day in kindergarten, and yesterday when I left, I felt a little bit worried about just everything that I wasn't getting done, like all of our procedures, all of our routines, like none of that was getting done. But today, I feel like I noticed every single day, it's just getting a little bit better. We got so much done today. They were much better. We had to do a couple things 4 times. At one point, I was having them line up and they just could not do it quietly, and I swear we did it like 6 different times, and by the end of it, some of the kids who had lined up perfectly the first time were just so over it, but we finally did it, so that was nice. We did eat our little cookies I got from IKEA that have the little hearts on them for kissing hand. What else did we do? And it's a little bit later. I feel like you can probably tell. It's not dark outside. Those are just the trees. It's not dark. It's only 3:12 on Friday. I was just saying it's so nice to have people who like come in and check on me here. It's been so great because like I said, my last school was not supportive at all. So today we did a lot of things. I don't remember the order of everything we did, so I'm just going to talk you through as I think about it. One of the things that we did was we read Alma in the Worry Stone, and this is a new read aloud to me this year, and my kids loved it. And for our read alouds right now, I'm just having them do like one thing, and we're really focusing more on sitting, listening to the story, how do you act on the carpet, and then I'm practicing turn and talks with them, which they're actually really good at. This is a good group for turning and talking because all they want to do is talk. So, and I didn't have like a read aloud plan for this, but I feel like I'm very good whenever I'm doing my read alouds at stopping and having them, you know, interact and make like the faces. So like with Alma in the beginning, she's worried, and I had them all make the worried face, and then we talked about it at the end. We talked about a million things, but just to pull one, we have her face here, and she's very happy, and I went back and forth, asked them to make the faces, asked are they the same, are they different, what changed, just talking about those kind of things. And then we talked about her worry stone that she uses to make her feel better. By the way, one of my nails popped off, and it's sitting on my table, and one of my girls saw it, and she was like, "Miss Call, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. It just popped off." These kids are just so sweet. So anyways, we made the worry stones that I was telling you about this morning, and the polymer clay was so fun for them. They loved it. So I actually had them coloring a little hat while we did. Come in. I was wonderfully interrupted again by a couple of teachers. Like I said, it's just been great to have people come and reach out to me and kind of just talk to me and make sure I'm okay. And this has just been the best experience ever. So I actually put this hat together this morning. It says, "I conquered my first week." And because I wanted them to have like another little coloring thing to do, but I didn't want to put any pressure on it really, or make it like a full sheet or anything. So I was like, oh, well, the dragon's on the front. They would love that. I found the cutest dragon. And when I showed them these hats that they were going to color today, for like 2 minutes, they were just, "Oh, it's so cute. Oh my goodness, I want to color it." Like they thought this was the cutest thing. This, I just searched like dragon clip art on Google, so I don't own the clip art, but this is their little hat that I made them today. So while they were coloring, my aide had them back here, and I had some back here. And so basically I started at the bottom of my roster, she started at the top, and we made these little worry stones. They are on a baking tray, just like one of these. I can't show you because it has names on it. I'll show you mine. Had them pick 2 colors of clay, squish it together, roll it in a ball, and then they put their thumbprint in the middle, and I'm going to bake those so they get hard, and then that will be their worry stones, and they can either keep them in their book bins, which I have not introduced yet, or they'll keep them, maybe I was thinking like in the calm corner in a basket. Their book bin might be better, but that was really fun. They loved it. And then a little bit later we read the book. Here it is. Can I Give You a Squish? So it's this book right here. I actually read it last year in kindergarten. They liked it. And this year I wanted to make sure I read it at the beginning because I have one friend who doesn't really understand personal space, and we've been working on like asking before hugging, because I don't care if he hugs me, you know, he just really needs to ask. Sometimes he's like, "Can I kiss you?" And I say, "No, thanks." But Can I Give You a Squish was good. And then we talked about the different ways that we like to be greeted. So we made a little graph. And by the way, all of my anchor charts and just activities that we've been doing look like this, not fancy at all. And guess what? The kids still love it. So I gave everyone a little counter, had them hold it, and we talked about the different ways that we can greet each other. And so we have hugs, high five, fist bump, and wave hello. And then I had them all come and graph it. We counted it. They loved it. They were so excited that Hugs was getting all these little chips and tokens. So that was fun. We also did our Be a Leader, Not a Boss anchor chart, because I was like, I have to do this the first week of school. Like, it just has to get done. This is what it looks like. It's not cute. Honestly, I'm probably going to rewrite it, but it'll say the same thing. That's what that looks like. And then we started our chant where I say be a, and they say leader, and I say nada, and they say boss. This class, it's a little bit trickier with the chants. Like, having them learn it is a little bit harder. They just get confused on like, what do I say versus what do they say, but it's okay because it's the 3rd day of school. And then the other thing we did was we started our whiteboard routines. And honestly, I had completely forgotten about this, but someone on Instagram had said, "Oh, I'm using Miss Call's whiteboard chants." And I was like, I need to do that too. So we used our clean slates boards, and what I taught them to do is make a carpet line. So at our carpet, we have learning leaves, which is why I love this rug. Every student has a learning leaf. Sometimes when I call them to the carpet, they're supposed to be on their learning leaf, and sometimes they can sit wherever they want. We also have edge spots for things like morning meeting, where they'll sit on the edge. So then we have edge spots for things like morning meeting, or if I ever need to do something in the middle or show them. And that's just when the students sit crisscross on the edge of the carpet all the way around. We have leaf spots, we have edge spots, and then we have a carpet line, which is when they line up on the edge of the carpet. So whenever I need them to get things like clipboards or whiteboards, which their whiteboards, I actually might put those in their book bin because I love clean slates. I have the lines, the handle, the marker, the eraser, a blank side, and you can swap out this. I love these so much, but they're colored. And everything in my class, I always try to keep the same color because they will fight over it, and it's every time. So I might give them like one board to be theirs to put in their book bin and maybe try that. That way we don't have to worry about the colors, because I do love these boards. So anyways, for today, they had their carpet line. They came, they got a whiteboard. If they didn't have a marker, I showed them where the markers were. And then we just practice sitting on our learning leaf. What do you do when you get your whiteboard? You take it, you put it in your lap, you don't touch it, you wait for Mrs. Call. And it took forever for them to get it today, and that's okay, because that's what you expect, at least the first couple of days. And then we practiced our routine. So I said for them to draw a circle. They all drew a circle, and then we practiced our first callback, which is where I say caps on and they say markers down. So they put their caps on and they put their markers down. That's our first callback. They set the markers on the ground. Second callback is I say wipe it clean, and they say can't be seen. And then the last callback is invisible boards, and I turn them over, put them down, and they say where'd they go. So we did that today. What else did we do? We did something else. This is the most we've ever gotten done, and it's nice because, like I said, I'm feeling more settled into our routine. I feel better about just running this classroom with these students. It just was a lot at first. Our book tracker is currently at 8 books, which they are so excited about. We also read the first ending in What Should Danny Do School Day, one of my favorite books for teaching choices. You guys have heard me brag about it so many times, but this is What Should Danny Do. The original one is just more like normal kid life. This one is more back to school, and Danny goes throughout his day and you make choices with the kids. So I have them vote on which choice they want to do, and in the beginning they all want to pick the right thing to do. So today I kind of had to push them to make the wrong choice to see what would happen, and they loved it. They didn't want to quit reading it, which is great because it's been hard for them to sit on the carpet and focus, so you know it's good. We also did a little bit of a preview on what Class Dojo coupons will be like. I didn't do the coupons today, but I did let them pick something from our Dojo Leader box. So all week long, we've been earning Dojo points. And like I said, didn't want to do the coupons today, but I wanted them to get something because I told them that Dojo points help them like earn rewards. So I literally just let them pick out a pencil or eraser or a sticker, and they liked it. But yeah, first week has been really good. I've really loved getting to know my kids. I knew all of their names except like 2 kids I kept mixing up off after the first day of school, and now I know all of their names. I'm starting to see all of their personalities, and it's just really nice to have like a good class. I have a good feeling about this class, and I've seen already how much the first graders want to help the kindergartners and how much the kindergartners look to the first graders, even though they don't really know who's a first grade, who's a kindergartner just yet. I don't think they know it, but they can tell just in the way that they act. Like this student like knows what to do, so they'll go to them. So it's just really nice and it's really helpful. Oh, we haven't done any kind of centers or rotations yet. This is the 3rd day of school. Next week I'm going to try to implement our schedule a little bit more and try to do some of those things. Some of my kids were really interested in our library, which of course is my favorite place in the whole classroom, but I make it a big deal. Like I had a little girl who was like, Miss Call, can I go get a book from the library? And I said, no, we haven't learned how to use the library yet, but you can look at the book we read today. And if you watch my vlogs, you know. I have them right here right now, because I would love a little bookshelf thing right here, like one of those little displays. I don't have one, but I would love one. Every time I read a book with them as a read aloud, they're my books that I keep on my shelf here, but after I read them, I usually put them somewhere in the room, or I'll put them on a shelf, and they know they can go back to those stories because it really helps them. They like to reread it. They already know the story. There's no pressure. They know kind of how things go. So they love to do it, and it's something I'll do forever. I just make sure that they're they're a little careful and they understand. So yeah, that's been good. They used the calm corner a lot today. I had a little boy come in. He was really upset. And then a few minutes later, he was fine. Oh my gosh, you know what I forgot to tell you? Our morning meeting today was so fun. Hold on. We did the activity that I think I told you guys about. Raise the Bar Education shared it. Bethany, which I love her. She basically had a ball of yarn, and then you would say something about yourself. For me, this is how I did it. I said, you can say something about yourself or something you're excited for here at school, and then you throw the yarn to someone else. And they thought it was so cool. We made like a little web on the carpet. If I have a picture I can edit out the faces in, I'll put it right here for you to see, but they loved it. There were like 2 times that I had to cut the string and like retie the yarn. The ball of yarn itself was tangled, but other than that, it was great. And they were actually super patient during it, and they thought it was fun. So I'm actually gonna take this yarn. This is all the yarn from the game, and there's like a clump in here because I couldn't untangle it, but it's okay. And I'm gonna put it in like a little jar or something and make it like, I don't know, make it special, like a little memory. This is our yarn that connects all of us. I don't really know just yet, but I have a lot to get done this weekend. It's still crazy how quickly everything happened. Like I got hired, had no time to set up the classroom, somehow managed to do it by staying till like almost midnight on the weekends. Came, did meet the teacher, and then had my first day, and it's just been a lot, but I love, love, love the school that I'm at. I don't know if I'd feel nearly as positive as I do about this year without some of these people, but I do. I feel really good, and even though I've never taught a combo before, or having taught kindergarten, having taught first grade, I feel really prepared for it, and I feel like it's gonna be better than just teaching first grade and just teaching kindergarten. I was telling one of the other teachers, like, of course it's more work for me. It's way more work for me. But as far as what the kids need, we were talking about how in a normal classroom, if you have all first graders, it's 1 to 20 or plus, 1 teacher to 20 plus kids. And here in a combo class, because I teach kindergarten and first grade separately, it's a lot smaller. It's either like 1 to 12 or 1 to 6, because a lot of it is small groups. So they're getting more of what they need. They're getting more one-on-one attention than they would in a normal class. And I love it. I love it. And so making my schedule gave me a little extra confidence that I can get things going, get things working. Plus I have 2 awesome teams, kindergarten and first grade teams that I'm working with and trying to figure out how I'm gonna do everything. So will I be stressed this year? More than likely. And I'm probably gonna try to do way too much, but I feel like it's gonna be an amazing year, and I feel like these kids are gonna grow so much because they're in a combo class. So everything works out for a reason. So yeah, if you want to hear more about how I teach kindergarten and first grade at the same time, make sure you subscribe, like this video so other teachers can see it. Make sure you're following me over on Instagram because they get to see everything first. I share way more over there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next one.